Why does a man in a simple t-shirt sometimes command more respect than a man in a three-piece suit? The secret isn't the logo. It isn't even the fit. It is the chromatic signal you are sending to the world. Most men over 50 fail this test. You are likely trapped in the safety of corporate gray, or, worse, the desperation of midlife crisis neon. Both scream insecurity. True wealth whispers through color chemistry. It is about the tension between warm and cold, the harmony of low contrast, and the texture of the pigment. Today, we unlock the vault. We are breaking down the 5 specific color combinations that the global elite have used for decades to signal status without saying a word. Welcome to the aesthetics of authority. Combo 1. The Riviera Standard, navy blue and ecru, not white. We begin with the most fundamental pairing in the lexicon of leisure, the Riviera Standard. The combination is navy blue and ecru. Note that I did not say navy and white. This distinction is the precise line where the average man stops and the connoisseur begins. When a man over 50 pairs a navy blazer with a bright, optic white shirt or stark white trousers, he runs a significant aesthetic risk. The contrast is too sharp, too clinical. It recalls the imagery of a naval uniform, a schoolboy, or worse, a waiter at a seaside resort. Optic white is artificial. It is the result of chemical bleaching. It reflects light so aggressively that it can make the teeth of a mature man appear yellow and his complexion look washed out. To elevate this look to the realm of old money, we must soften the white. We replace it with ecru, oatmeal, cream, or stone. These are the shades of raw, unbleached nature. They imply materials that are inherently expensive: virgin wool, unadulterated cashmere, and raw linen. When you place a navy blue blazer against a cream turtleneck or an oatmeal cable-knit sweater, you are no longer creating a uniform. You are creating a harmony. The warmth of the cream softens the cold authority of the navy, creating a look that is approachable yet undeniably aristocratic. This combination is famously associated with the Riviera style of the 1950s and 60s. Think of Gianni Agnelli stepping off a boat in Capri, or Alain Delon in Purple Noon. It suggests a life lived near the water, but not in service to it. It says you own the yacht. You are not crew upon it. For the man over 50, this pairing is technically superior because of how it handles light. Navy blue absorbs light, slimming the torso and broadening the shoulders. Ecru reflects light, but softly. By wearing a navy jacket over an ecru base, you create a V-shape that flatters the aging physique. Furthermore, the yellow undertones in ecru add a subtle warmth to the face, counterfeiting the healthy glow of a suntan, even in the depths of winter. Execute this by investing in texture. A flat, shiny navy suit with a flat cream shirt looks dated. Instead, seek out a navy blazer in a hopsack weave or a flannel texture, and pair it with trousers in a heavy cream cotton twill or off-white moleskin. The goal is to look like your clothes were inherited, not purchased yesterday. Bright white looks brand new and cheap. Ecru looks timeless and curated. It is the color of parchment, of ancient stone, and of luxury that does not need to shout. This is your new standard for weekend elegance. Combo 2. The intellectual contrast. Charcoal gray and camel. We now enter the library of the sartorial world. Our second combination is defined by the tension between temperature and intellect. This is combo number 2. The intellectual contrast. Charcoal gray and camel. If navy and ecru is the pairing of the leisure class, charcoal and camel is the pairing of the professional elite. It is a study in chromatic equilibrium. On one side, we have charcoal gray, the coldest, most severe neutral in existence. It is the color of graphite, of slate, of the city pavement. It projects an image of unyielding seriousness and industrial power. On the other side, we have camel, a rich golden-brown hue that is inherently warm, soft, and organic. When you force these two opposites together, something magical happens. The warmth of the camel defrosts the severity of the charcoal. It prevents the gray from looking too funereal or bureaucratic. Conversely, the sharpness of the charcoal grounds the camel, preventing it from looking too casual or country-bound. This is why this combination is often called the professor's uniform or the Milanese architect. It signals a man who is not just wealthy, but deeply educated. It suggests that you spend your time in boardrooms, galleries, and lecture halls. For the man over 50, this combination is a potent anti-aging tool. As we age, our skin tone can become sallow or grayish. Wearing head-to-toe gray can act as camouflage, making you disappear. However, introducing a camel element near the face, be it a cashmere turtleneck, a scarf, or the lapels of a coat, casts a warm amber light onto the jawline and cheekbones. It acts as a natural filter, reviving the complexion while maintaining the gravitas of the gray suit or trousers. The most iconic execution of this pairing is the outerwear move. Picture a man in a sharp, tailored charcoal flannel suit. On its own, he looks like a banker. But throw a heavy, double-breasted camel hair overcoat, specifically a polo coat or an ulster, over his shoulders, and suddenly he looks like a tycoon. The visual impact of that golden tan coat against the dark gray wool is undeniable. It is high contrast, yet low aggression. Alternatively, for a more casual approach, pair charcoal wool trousers with a camel cashmere sweater. The texture here is paramount. Camel as a color is inextricably linked to the fiber of the camel itself, or high-grade cashmere. It implies softness. Charcoal implies the scratchier, drier texture of flannel or tweed. Mixing these textures creates a tactile depth that looks incredibly expensive. You are signaling that you understand luxury not just as a label, but as a feeling. This combination is solemn enough for a business meeting, yet soft enough for a private dinner. It is the aesthetic of the thinking man. Combo 3. The Textural Monolith. Tonal gray, silver to graphite. We arrive now at the most architectural of our choices. This is not merely a combination, it is a philosophy. Combo number 3 is the Textural Monolith, tonal gray, ranging from silver to graphite. While the amateur uses color to distract the eye, the master removes color to reveal the form. This approach is known as tonal dressing, or the grayscale gradient. It involves wearing multiple shades of gray in a single outfit, creating a cascading effect from light to dark. This is the aesthetic of the Brancusi sculpture, or the brutalist skyscraper. It is imposing, unmovable, and profoundly masculine. For the man over 50, particularly those with salt and pepper or silver hair, this is the ultimate power move. It aligns your wardrobe with your natural grooming, creating a seamless, monochromatic column that makes you appear taller, leaner, and visually harmonious. However, there is a dangerous trap here. If you execute an all-gray look with flat, cheap fabrics, you risk looking like you are wearing a prison uniform or a tracksuit. The secret to making tonal gray look expensive is the absolute prioritization of texture. Because you have removed the variation in hue, you must maximize the variation in surface. You cannot wear gray cotton trousers with a gray cotton shirt. That is flat. That is boring. Instead, you must build a symphony of surfaces. Pair the fuzziness of a charcoal flannel trouser with the sleekness of a silver silk knit tie. Layer a chunky cable knit dove gray sweater under a rough herringbone tweed jacket in slate. Mix the matte finish of suede boots with the sheen of a worsted wool scarf. By clashing these textures, you create depth. The eye is no longer looking for color, it is feasting on the richness of the materials. It signals that you are a man who buys clothes not for how they look from across the street, but for how they feel when touched. This combination is particularly potent because it projects visual silence. In a world of noise and neon, the man in tonal gray is a void of calm. It is the sartorial equivalent of a whisper in a room full of shouting. It forces people to lean in. It is strictly modern, yet ancient in its simplicity. To execute this practically, follow the light to dark rule. Generally, keep the lighter shades near the face to reflect light and brighten the complexion, and the darker shades at the bottom to anchor the silhouette. A light silver cashmere turtleneck, worn with deep charcoal trousers and a mid-gray overcoat, is a combination that will never fail you. It says that you have transcended the need for decoration. You are the decoration. This is the choice for the man who is confident enough to let the quality of his choices speak for itself. Combo 4. The Italian Industrialist, Chocolate Brown and Azure Blue. We now travel south, crossing the Alps to break one of the most rigid rules in menswear. Combo number 4 is the Italian Industrialist, Chocolate Brown and Azure Blue. For generations, the British establishment held a strict maxim: no brown in town. They believed brown was reserved for the country estate, for hunting and farming, while the city belonged to the severity of gray and navy. The Italians, specifically the titans of industry in Milan and Turin, rejected this. They understood that while black commands, brown seduces. They adopted deep chocolate brown as their signature of power, pairing it with the vibrant optimism of azure blue. This combination is the sartorial equivalent of an espresso consumed under a Mediterranean sky. To master this, you must understand the specific shade of brown. We are not speaking of tan, beige, or camel. We are speaking of chocolate, a dark, bitter espresso hue that rivals charcoal in its intensity, but surpasses it in richness. For the man over 50, chocolate brown is infinitely more flattering than black. Black absorbs all light and casts shadows into the wrinkles of the face. Chocolate brown, conversely, contains red and orange undertones. It reflects a subtle warmth back onto the skin, masking fatigue and making the wearer look healthier and more vital. When you pair this grounded, earthy foundation with a shirt in azure or sky blue, you create a high-contrast warmth that is visually magnetic. It is the color palette of the natural world, the earth meeting the sky, and therefore, the human eye finds it inherently pleasing and trustworthy. It lacks the aggression of a black suit and white shirt. Instead, it projects a sophisticated approachability. It says, "I am in charge, but I am not uptight." This pairing is best executed with a focus on matte luxury. A shiny brown suit looks cheap. It looks like a costume from the 1970s. You want texture. Think of a heavy chocolate brown flannel suit worn with a crisp, light blue chambray shirt. Or, for a more casual, old money weekend look, pair dark brown corduroy trousers with a blue denim shirt and a navy blazer. The juxtaposition of the rugged brown texture against the cool blue tones creates a look that is rugged yet refined. Accessories play a pivotal role here. This is the realm of brown suede. A pair of dark brown suede loafers or Chelsea boots anchors this look perfectly, continuing the theme of soft luxury. By adopting this combination, you align yourself with the aesthetic of the Italian nobility. Men who view style not as a uniform to be obeyed, but as a pleasure to be enjoyed. It is a bold departure from the corporate norm, and for the mature man, that distinctiveness is the ultimate signifier of wealth. You are no longer dressing for the job you want, you are dressing for the life you have built. Combo 5. The aristocratic depth. Forest green and navy. We conclude our chromatic journey with the most enigmatic pairing in the arsenal. This is combo number 5. The aristocratic depth. Forest green and navy. If the previous combinations were about creating contrast, light against dark, warm against cold, this combination is about the power of dark on dark. It is a move of profound subtlety, reserved for the man who has absolutely nothing left to prove. Historically, this pairing finds its roots in the black watch tartan of the Scottish regiments, a pattern designed not for parade, but for camouflage in the deep heather and shadows of the Highlands. It brings together the two most masculine colors in existence, the deep green of the ancient forest and the dark blue of the deep ocean. For the man over 50, this combination offers a unique psychological advantage. It signals landed wealth. While gray and black are the colors of the city and the corporation, forest green is the color of the estate, the hunt, and the weekend retreat. When you wear forest green trousers with a navy blazer, or a navy cashmere jumper under a forest green waxed canvas jacket, you are subtly communicating that your life extends beyond the glass walls of an office. You are evoking the aesthetics of the British aristocracy, who have favored this country meets city palette for centuries. The secret to making this look expensive lies in the saturation. We are not talking about Kelly green, lime, or bright emerald. Those are colors for children or sports teams. We are speaking of a green so dark that in low light it could almost be mistaken for charcoal. It must have a blackened undertone. When this deep, mossy hue sits next to midnight navy, the result is a low-contrast vibration that is incredibly sophisticated. It is not loud. It is dense. It absorbs attention rather than demanding it. Texture is the catalyst that makes this pairing reactive. Because the colors are close in value, darkness, you need distinct fabrics to separate them. This is the perfect opportunity to introduce corduroy or velvet. A pair of heavy, wide wale forest green corduroy trousers worn with a smooth, fine-gauge navy wool sweater is a masterclass in textural interplay. The ridges of the corduroy catch the light, revealing the green, while the navy wool remains deep and flat. This look is particularly effective for evening wear or cooler months. It carries a sense of mystery. A man in a black suit is predictable. A man in a gray suit is standard. But a man in a forest green velvet jacket and navy trousers? He is an enigma. He looks artistic, traveled, and deeply confident. It is the introverted power look. It tells the room that you do not need to shine brightly to be the most important person in the space. You are comfortable in the shadows because you own the shadows. This is the final level of the visual wealth index, the ability to command respect through whisper rather than a shout. Gentlemen, we end with the golden rule. Complexity is the enemy of luxury. Never wear more than 3 colors at once. The true mark of status is restraint. You now possess the 5 keys: navy and ecru, charcoal and camel, tonal gray, chocolate and azure, and forest green and navy. This week, choose one. Experiment with the texture. Notice how the world treats you differently when you signal intentionality. Money shouts, but wealth whispers. Stop dressing to fit in. Start dressing to separate yourself. It is time to stop dressing by accident and start dressing by design.